Walking Dead by Greg Rucka. Narrated by Jonathan Davis.
Chapter 1. People came to Koboleti to hide. It's why we were there, and it's why Bahar Lagidze had brought his family there. And I knew it, and I never asked him why. I should have. I was awake but unsure of it, my eyes suddenly open, the last whispers of dream vanishing, leaving me with no true memory, just the impression that it had been unpleasant, that I had done things of which I was not proud. Full moon blue filtered into the bedroom. Shadows swayed behind the thin curtains as long pine boughs rocked in the breeze. Our dog, Miata, an old Doberman with no voice, was pacing at the door. I tried to focus my blurred vision on him as he turned a circle in place, raised a paw to scratch at the door, then glanced back my way. I fumbled my glasses off the nightstand and onto my nose, watched as he repeated the sequence. It had been the noise or the motion or both that had pulled me from sleep. And I knew the behavior for what it was, and it shifted me fully awake, and I put a hand on Alena's shoulder. "Trouble," I said. She murmured, refusing to surface. "Wake up." I'd been speaking in Georgian. I switched to Russian. "Trouble." I looked to the door in time to see Miata finish another circle, this time to fix me with a plea in his eyes. Any other dog, I'd have thought he was fighting a weak bladder. I slipped out of bed, felt the hardwood immediately leach heat from my feet. There was a pistol in the nightstand drawer. I put the gun down long enough to pull on my jeans. "What's going on?" Alena asked. "Miata's got something." She looked at me blearily, half-heartedly shook her head, as if unsure she was dreaming this or not. "Not the alarm?" "I'll check. Stay here." She was readying a pistol of her own as I left the room. The two laptops that ran our security system lived in the linen closet beside the bathroom, on the shelf above the towels. I could feel Miata's moist breath against my bare ankles as I checked each. No alerts. Nothing had been tripped. Nothing on the video. Nothing in the logs. It occurred to me that Miata was now an old dog, and maybe he really did need to take a leak. Nothing more. Then he bolted away down the hall, paws clacking on the floor. I followed more slowly and caught up with him at the back door. Together we listened to the night, and whatever it was he was hearing, I wasn't. I opened the door and stepped out after him, into the summer darkness. The air was close to cold, chilled as it came in off the Black Sea, with threads of thin fog hanging in the trees, and it was as dead silent outside the house as it had been within. I thought about going back for a shirt, but Miata had begun cautiously trotting toward the woods that ringed our house, muzzle and ears both raised, and he clearly wasn't in a mood to wait. Two will-o'-the-wisps, dim halos, blinked at me as a car came along the road that cut through the forest in the distance. The sound of the engine followed a second later, but barely. The vehicle easily half a mile away, turning along the road that led to the Lagidze house. The light, then the sound, faded. I followed Miata to the edge of the tree line, where it bordered our backyard, put a hand on his back to calm him. Alena and I had cut down several of the trees in the past 2 years to clear sight lines to the perimeter, and we still had 4 cords of wood split and stacked and ready to keep us warm through the coming winter. Then I heard the shots. This time, Miata had to follow me. Flat run, barefoot, in the forest, in the dark. It took me almost 3 minutes to cover the distance, and I counted gunshots as I ran. I heard a total of 14 more, all of them sounding as if spoken by the same weapon. An engine turned as I reached the edge of the dirt road leading to Bahar.